Welcome, Tailgate Legends, to week 9 already. I know I did miss a video last week, but that's all right. It's a little busy. Um, got a good video for you today. I am going to do the two normal segments. We'll run through last week's matchups. I'll do my predictions for this upcoming week's matchups. And in the middle, I'm going to do something maybe a little controversial. I am going to list my top 5 GMs in this league. GMs, not... There's a difference between a coach and a GM when it comes to fantasy football. I'm talking about GMs. I'm talking about roster construction, okay? There are some people that I respect more than others when it comes to being a GM, constructing a roster year in and year out. And you guys are going to find out who my top 5 are. I was going to do my top 3 and my bottom 3, but I was like, let's just do top 5, yeah. Okay, so going to start it off right away and run through last week's matchups. First, we had Ricky 2000 against Cheeseheads with Attitude. Ricky 2000 came away with the win by almost 100 points. Roofer's team is definitely my personal number 1 in the power rankings. His team looks fucking unstoppable right now. And it's not just the starters. Like, this man has so many good players. I, for sure, don't want to look at his team. I don't want to do it. Stacked. Like, so fucking stacked. Crushed Landon. Next, we have Herb Your Enthusiasm against Sam and Co. Sam and Weiler against Burns. Burns came away with the win, 158-128, led by ETN with 35, Christian McCaffrey with 44, Cooper Kupp with 21, Kyle Pitts with 18. I fucking knew that was going to happen. As soon as I think 2 weeks ago, I talked shit about Kyle Pitts, and I think he's had a touchdown each of the last 2 weeks now. 10 points out of Sam Ellinger, and he still put up 158. On the other side, Sam and Co. still put up 128. This week, like, there were a lot of high scores this week, so it probably wouldn't have got it done this week, but most weeks 128 beats half this league. But I mean, he didn't have a terrible week, just, went up against Burnsy. Next, we got Diggs in a Blanket. Lemke against Sure. Sure lost 159-68. Diggs in a Blanket. Lemke killed this week. Dak with 31. Aaron Jones with 23. Diggs with 21. Tyreek Hill with 29. Mike Evans with 18. I mean, 159 is a good score, good enough to beat most teams most weeks. So, Lemke comes away with the win. Next, we have me, the Muth is Luth, against Prusky, Shit the Bed Fred. I came away with the win, 149-94. I did have a good week. I had some players. I did not do so well, though. But I was led by King Henry's big performance. Got me 46. He didn't have a great week. I mean, Burrow only got him 20. Saquon got him 17. But, like, damn. 8 out of Eno Benjamin. 0.2 out of Devontae. 11 out of Chris Godwin. 4 out of Devontae Smith. It was just a shit week for him. Prusky's team is so good, though. It was just a bad week for him. Next, we have Chase and Lamb against Fresh Prince of Elair. Whitey, set your fucking lineup. Got Jamar Chase in there. Got you a fucking Easter egg over there. Fresh Prince of Elair comes away with the win, 136-65. Boggs had a pretty good week, led by 39 points from A.J. Brown. And Whitey, it looks like your team is just not that good. So that sucks, but what are you going to do? Next, we have Pump and Munch against Lemmy Winks. Lemmy Winks comes away with the win, 188 to 173. What the fuck, man? Like, 188, 173. Dude, I remember it was year 2 in this league. I was going up against Boggs in the semifinals, and I put up, I want to say 170, and I fucking lost. This isn't quite as bad. That was when LaShawn McCoy fucking destroyed me. Fuck you, Boggs. I'm still salty about it. So both guys had really good weeks, dude. Like, Lem had 40 out of Alvin Kamara and Tony Pollard, 30 out of Hopkins. You know, Jalen Hurts got Yacht 38, Nick Chubb 29, Amari Cooper 24. I mean, just all around good performances, and somebody had to win, though. Okay, next we have, hang on, I got chicken on the grill, so I'm going to do this while I flip my chicken. I am going to run through my top 5 GMs in this league. People I respect the most when it comes to roster construction. Not necessarily like setting your lineup or anything, but just at the beginning of the year, dude, who's rolling out the best lineups? Or who's rolling out the best rosters every fucking year? Now, there's a couple things that I consider when I think about the best GMs. There are some things I consider that not everybody does well. And first of all, I didn't put myself on this list at all. I didn't even consider putting myself on this list because I think everybody here knows that, you know, there's a fine line between confident and cocky, and I really ride that line, you know, so did not want to put myself on this list. So what makes a good GM? You're not a chicken shit, and you're fucking winning. You're in win now mode every year. You are in win now mode, right? Like, Evan, since you went back to back, you just have not been in win now, and that's fine. You're in rebuild, that's fine. The best GMs figure it out. At least try to figure it out. Like, I'm not saying you win every year. I'm saying you're trying to win every year. Next, the best GMs, in my opinion, they see value more than they see names, if that makes sense. So many people see, you know, top tier names or bottom tier names. You know, it goes both ways. Don't necessarily see the value. And value is a very, very important word when it comes to being a good GM. It's a very important thing. When do you sell? When do you buy? What players can you get cheap that have value, you know, the most value? And I just think that some people are better at finding value than others, whether it be now or maybe a year down the road. I mean, I pick up players that I think are going to be valuable maybe in a year. You know, I mean, maybe they're not going to be good for a year, but they'll be good in 2 years, you know, and it does happen. And, you know, you're trying to predict the future. I get that. And you don't want to make a living predicting the future. So I get that. But, you know, when you can find one or two guys, if you can find one guy every year that breaks out, maybe not this year, but the next year, and not everybody else sees that, you know, you can turn that into a pick. You can turn that into fantasy points. That wins you a championship, that wins you money. That's what this league is all about. It's about winning championships, winning money. So here we go. I'm counting down 5 to 1. Okay. And this is in order. This is not just, you know, random 5. This is in order. Number 5, I have Yacht. Boom. I got Yacht on here. I think everybody here knows that Yacht, is he in win now mode every year? Yes, 100%. There's no doubt. Yacht is trying to win every single year. Yacht makes the playoffs just about every year. Has he won the big one? Has he really, people have to ask themselves, has he really been a contender any year? I mean, maybe, anybody can win any year, but the fact remains, she's in the kitchen, buddy. Yeah, there you go. The fact remains that he is in win now mode every year, and he has a good enough roster every year, pretty much every year, to make the playoffs. And if you make the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I think pretty much half this league has missed the playoffs more times than Yacht has, and people don't really respect that or understand that that's kind of what's going on. I know, like, Prusky gets pissed when Yacht trades all of his picks, but you know what? He gets good value out of those picks. He really does. When you look at his roster, pretty much every fucking player that he has on his roster he traded a pick for, So it's like, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue with it. And I know some of you guys do know the podcast that I listen to a lot. One of the three main guys on that podcast says, fuck them picks. I don't care about picks. I want valuable players. I want veterans. I want people who are going to give me fantasy points, not in 2 years, not in 3 years, but right now. And that's what Yacht does, and it has made him fairly successful. So I got Yacht at number 5. Number four, I got Burnsy. Got Burnsy on here. I was like hit or miss with Burns, but you know what? He's made it to, I don't know if he's made it to the finals, but I know he's made it to the semifinals a couple times. And it's the same thing. He's trying to win now every single year, whether it's trading players or trading picks. He's in win now mode all the time, and I do feel like he sees value. Sometimes it's like, well, you have fucking 6 tight ends, and you're putting a lot on the line for a couple, tight ends, but the fact remains that anytime I go up against Burns and I look at his lineup, I'm like, this is not going to be an easy matchup. Just not going to be an easy matchup. So I think Burns is pretty good at roster construction, like pretty good. Coaching, I don't know. He really, to start every year, gives himself a great starting lineup. Doesn't have a ton of depth. The last couple of years has been different. So got Burns at number 4. Number 3, I have Mr. Derek Roofer. Yeah, got Roofer up there. It's the same thing. I don't know. There was a time that I just really didn't respect Roofer for the way he constructed his teams, but again, he is in it every single year. He is in it every year. He's always in win now mode. Again, whether or not you're winning is not really the point. It's, are you trying to win, and are you making good moves to put yourself in a position to win? And I think that Roofer is one of the best to do that. So, he made it to the finals last year. He's made the playoffs many years. I think there's only been, 2 years you haven't made the playoffs, I think. So always in the playoffs, always a contender. Which is really funny because I just don't, that my perception of Roofer playing fantasy football just isn't that. But the reality is, that's what it is. He's a contender and he's a damn good fantasy football player. So I got him at number 3. Number two, I have Mr. Dave Lemke. I don't think anybody's surprised by this. The perception with Lemke is he is a very, very good fantasy football player. Perception and reality can be two different things at times. The perception, I think, here is reality. Unlike Yacht, I think the perception is he's not a good fantasy football player, but the reality is he is. because he makes the playoffs, you know. Lemke, you know, you're in the playoffs every year. You construct just great rosters every single year. You're a contender. You're in win now mode every year. You know, I truly do think that you see value as good as anybody maybe on the planet. You see value more than you see names. So that's why I got you at number 2. You know, a lot of respect for everybody on this list. You know, my respect for you is the same when it comes to playing fantasy football. And then number one, here we go. Number 1, I have Sam, not Weiler. Fuck you, Weiler. No, I'm fucking with you. But seriously, just Sam. Yeah, no, Sam is a great fantasy football player. It's, you know, my level of respect for Sam and for Lemke is basically the same. You know, I guess I would say this is more 1A, 1B instead of 1 and 2. But it's the same thing. You know, Sam and Co., they're putting out great rosters every single year. Like every year, there is no doubt in anybody's mind Sam is coming out with a great roster, and he knows what to do with it. You know, he knows what to do with her. And yeah, there's really not a whole lot more to say. Again, I think you see value, you know, more than you see football names, and that has always served you well. And yeah, you've just always put out great teams. So that's what I got. Yacht 5, Burns 4, Roofer 3, Lemke 2, Sam 1. Not you, Weiler. So that's what I got. On to predictions for next week. Give me 1 second. I can get there. All right. I'm going to make this kind of quick. I know the video is not going to be super long, but that's okay. All right. Herb Your Enthusiasm. Burns against Ricky 2000. Mr. Roofer. We got Mahomes against Josh Allen. Etienne against Cook. Ramondre Stevenson against Deontay Foreman. Kenneth Walker against Josh Jacobs. Gabe Davis against T. Higgins. God, this fucking matchup is good. This is a really good matchup. This is going to be fun to watch. I'm going to follow this one a lot. Maybe more than my matchup. Okay, well, I'm going to take Josh Allen over Mahomes. I think. That could be a toss-up, though. Dalvin Cook and Etienne, toss-up. Ramondre Stevenson and Deontay Foreman, probably a toss-up, but maybe Foreman. Fuck. I think Carolina's got Philly this week, though, so I might take Ramondre there. Josh Jacobs against Kenneth Walker. Maybe Kenneth Walker? Shooting myself in the fucking foot for not taking him. God damn, in the rookie draft. Gabe Davis against T. Higgins could be a fucking toss-up. Jalen Waddle against Cooper Kupp. I guess I'm taking Cooper Kupp, but he's got an ankle sprain, so maybe Jalen Waddle. Kyle Pitts against T.J. Hawkinson. Daniel Carlson. Oh, my God. Like, I'm taking Roofer here, but I don't feel good about it. I really don't feel good about it. I'm going to take Roofer, though. All right, next we got Landon against Shearer. Oh, God damn. These two fucking teams. Shearer, you're the worst. God, your team sucks. I'm taking Landon. I bet Landon beats you by 30 because you suck. Next, we got Sam and Co. against Diggs in a Blanket, my number 1 and number 2 fucking GMs. God. You know what sucks? Najee Harris. Lamar Jackson against Geno Smith. Whoa, toss up. God damn. Aaron Jones against Najee Harris. Probably Aaron Jones. Singletary against Jamal Williams. Toss up. Jacoby Myers against Stephon Diggs. Pittman against Mike Evans. Probably Mike Evans, maybe. Amon-Ra St. Brown against Tyreek Hill. Probably Tyreek Hill. I'm going to take Lemke here. I'm going to take Lemke in this one. Next, we have Chasen Lamb against Shit the Bed Fred. Prusky against Whitey. Whitey's team is not good, so I'm taking Prusky. Next, we have me against Lemmy Winks. Kyler against PJ Walker. Could be a toss-up. Derrick Henry against Alvin Kamara. I'm taking Alvin Kamara there. Damian Pierce against Tyler Boyd. I'm taking Damian Pierce. Jonathan Taylor against DeAndre Hopkins. I'm taking Hopkins. Jefferson against Lazard. I'm definitely taking Jefferson. Garrett Wilson against Darnell Mooney. Could be a toss-up, but I'm going to take Wilson. Andrews against Conklin. Ew, that could be a toss-up. I'll take Andrews, but that could be a toss-up. Conklin's been a beast. This could be upset of the week right here. Like, legit. I'm going to take me, but I don't feel good about it. All right, last but not least, we have Boggs against Yacht. I'm going to take Yacht here because Yacht has a good team. I'm going to take Yacht. That's all I got. I know it's a short video, but it's getting dark out here, and I got to grill some chicken. So good luck this week, everybody.